Greetings, seekers of the spine-chilling and the heart-racing. Step into a world veiled in darkness, where each story is a doorway to the unknown. Dare to peer through the veil as we unravel tales that will haunt your dreams and stir the specters of your mind. This is the crossroads of terror and mystery, where every shadow holds a secret. Let the darkness consume you if you dare.
Mom's got a date with a vampire. In the quiet suburban town of Willow Creek, the Hanson household was a whirlwind of activity. The three Hanson siblings, Adam, Chelsea, and Taylor, were as different as chalk and cheese. Adam, the eldest, was a music enthusiast with a rebellious streak. Chelsea, the middle child, was a social butterfly, always fluttering from one event to another. Taylor, the youngest, was a curious and imaginative boy, often lost in his world of monsters and superheroes. One sunny afternoon, the house echoed with the sounds of a heated argument. Adam had been caught neglecting his homework for the umpteenth time, engrossed in his rock music posters. Chelsea, on the other hand, had called Adam a dweeb one too many times, leading to a squabble that their mother, Lynette, had to intervene in. With a stern voice and a firm hand, Lynette grounded them both. Adam's dreams of attending the much-awaited Blood Moon concert were shattered, and Chelsea's plans for her date with Peter, the high school heartthrob, were dashed. The house fell silent, the siblings sulking in their rooms, their plans for the evening ruined. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the room, an idea began to form in Adam's mind. A plan so daring, it might just work. He shared his plan with Chelsea, who, despite her initial hesitation, agreed. They decided to set their mom up on a date, hoping it would get her out of the house and give them the freedom they craved. Little did they know, their plan would set in motion a series of events that would turn their ordinary night into an extraordinary adventure. The stage was set, and the night was only beginning. The siblings had no idea that their mom's date was not just any man, but a creature of the night, a vampire named Dimitri. As the moon rose in the sky, the real story was about to unfold. In the dim light of their rooms, Adam and Chelsea sat, their minds echoing with the same thought: escape. Their plans for the night were too precious to be squandered by a grounding. Adam's soul craved the electrifying rhythms of the Blood Moon concert, while Chelsea's thoughts were consumed by her rendezvous with Peter. In the silence of their confinement, a daring idea began to form, a plan that involved their unsuspecting mother, Lynette. They decided to arrange a date for her, hoping it would grant them the freedom they desired for the evening. With a shared understanding and a silent agreement, they set their plan into motion. They navigated the labyrinth of the internet, searching for a suitable companion for their mother. Their quest led them to a dating site where they discovered a profile that seemed to fit the bill. A man named Dimitri, suave, sophisticated, and crucially, available for the evening. They exchanged a few messages, and to their delight, Dimitri agreed to meet Lynette for dinner. With their plan in place, they approached their mother, suggesting she take a break and enjoy a date. Lynette, taken aback but intrigued, agreed. Unbeknownst to her, her children's innocent suggestion was part of a grander scheme. As Lynette prepared for her date, the siblings couldn't help but feel a sense of victory. Their plan was working. However, they were blissfully unaware that Dimitri was not just any man. He was a creature of the night, a vampire, masquerading behind a charming exterior. The night was still young, and the real adventure was yet to unfold. As the siblings watched their mother leave for her date, they felt a rush of freedom, but they were yet to realize their night was about to take a horrifying turn. The stage was set, and the curtain was about to rise on a night they would never forget. The night was young, and the Hanson household was buzzing with anticipation. Lynette, looking radiant, left for her date with Dimitri, leaving the children alone at home. The siblings, Adam and Chelsea, were thrilled Their plan had worked, but the youngest, Taylor, was uneasy. As the evening wore on, Taylor found himself drawn to the window, watching the moonlit street where Dimitri had disappeared with their mother. Suddenly, a chilling sight caught his eye. A bat, large and ominous, fluttered in the moonlight, casting eerie shadows. But this was no ordinary bat. As Taylor watched, his heart pounding, the bat transformed into the figure of Dimitri. A cold shiver ran down Taylor's spine as he realized the horrifying truth. Dimitri was a vampire. His mind raced, images of horror movies and vampire lore flooding his thoughts. He knew he had to warn his siblings. Adam and Chelsea, however, were too engrossed in their newfound freedom to pay heed to their little brother's frantic warnings. They dismissed his claims, attributing them to his overactive imagination. But Taylor knew what he had seen. He knew he had to protect his family from the danger that lurked in the shadows. As the night deepened, so did the sense of dread as the evening wore on. Taylor found himself drawn to the window, watching the moonlit street where Dimitri had disappeared with their mother. Suddenly, a chilling sight caught his eye. A bat, large and ominous, fluttered in the moonlight, casting eerie shadows. But this was no ordinary bat. As Taylor watched, his heart pounding, the bat transformed into the figure of Dimitri. A cold shiver ran down Taylor's spine as he realized the horrifying truth. Dimitri was a vampire. His mind raced, images of horror movies and vampire lore flooding his thoughts. He knew he had to warn his siblings. Adam and Chelsea, however, were too engrossed in their newfound freedom to pay heed to their little brother's frantic warnings. They dismissed his claims, attributing them to his overactive imagination. But Taylor knew what he had seen. He knew he had to protect his family from the danger that lurked in the shadows. As the night deepened, so did the sense of dread in Taylor's heart. He knew he was the only one who could save his family from the vampire in disguise. The horror of the situation was overwhelming, but Taylor was determined. He knew he had to act, and fast. A sense of dread hung in the air. Taylor Hansen, the youngest of the Hansen siblings, was grappling with a terrifying reality. His mother was on a date with a vampire. His siblings, Adam and Chelsea, had dismissed his warnings, leaving him to face the horror alone. With a heavy heart, Taylor decided to take matters into his own hands. He remembered an old book he had read about vampire hunters, and a name that had stuck with him, Malachi Van Helsing. With a glimmer of hope, he reached out to Van Helsing, praying that the legendary vampire hunter would come to their aid. As the night deepened, a mysterious figure arrived in town. It was Van Helsing, his presence bringing a sense of hope to the terrified young boy. Van Helsing, a man of few words, listened to Taylor's story, his experienced eyes reflecting a deep understanding of the supernatural world. Of dread hung in the air. Taylor Hansen, the youngest of the Hansen siblings, was grappling with a terrifying reality. His mother was on a date with a vampire. His siblings, Adam and Chelsea, had dismissed his warnings, leaving him to face the horror alone. With a heavy heart, Taylor decided to take matters into his own hands. He remembered an old book he had read about vampire hunters, and a name that had stuck with him, Malachi Van Helsing. With a glimmer of hope, he reached out to Van Helsing, praying that the legendary vampire hunter would come to their aid. As the night deepened, a mysterious figure arrived in town. It was Van Helsing, his presence bringing a sense of hope to the terrified young boy. Van Helsing, a man of few words, listened to Taylor's story, his experienced eyes reflecting a deep understanding of the supernatural world. Van Helsing was a seasoned hunter, his life dedicated to tracking down creatures of the night. He had faced countless vampires in his time, but Dimitri was different. He was cunning, blending into the human world with ease. But Van Helsing was not deterred. He was ready for the challenge. As Van Helsing prepared for the hunt, Taylor watched in awe. The vampire hunter moved with a purpose, his every action echoing years of experience. He was their only hope against Dimitri, and Taylor knew that they were in good hands. The moon hung low in the sky, casting long, eerie shadows on the streets. Lynette Hansen, oblivious to the danger she was in, was getting ready for her date with Dimitri. She was excited, her heart fluttering at the thought of going out after a long time. Little did she know that her date was not an ordinary man, but a creature of the night. Meanwhile, Taylor, Adam, and Chelsea were huddled together, their faces etched with worrying. They had decided to follow their mom on her date, each with their own reasons. Taylor wanted to protect his mom from the vampire, while Adam and Chelsea were worried about extending their punishment. As Lynette left the house, the siblings stealthily followed her. The night was silent, the only sound being the soft rustling of leaves under their feet. They watched as their mom met Dimitri, his charming smile hiding his true nature. The date started off at a quaint restaurant. From a distance, the siblings watched as Dimitri charmed their mom. His every move was calculated, his every word designed to draw Lynette further into his web. But the siblings were not fooled. They knew they had to stay alert. As the night progressed, the siblings noticed strange occurrences. Waiters seemed to avoid Dimitri, and he never looked into any mirrors. Adam, recalling Taylor's earlier warning, felt a chill run down his spine. Could Taylor be right? Could Dimitri really be a vampire? The night was thick with tension as Adam, Chelsea, and Taylor watched their mother from a distance. The once bustling streets were now deserted, the silence broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the rustling of leaves. The siblings were on edge, their hearts pounding in their chests as they watched Dimitri lead their mother into a secluded park. Adam, who had been skeptical of Taylor's vampire theory, was now beginning to see the truth. He noticed Dimitri's peculiar behavior, his avoidance of mirrors, his pale complexion, and most importantly, his lack of reflection. It was a chilling realization, one that sent a shiver down his spine. Dimitri was indeed a vampire. Meanwhile, Chelsea was wrestling with her own fears. She had dismissed Taylor's warnings as childish fantasies, but now she was not so sure. She watched as Dimitri charmed their mother, his hypnotic gaze never leaving her. It was a sight that filled her with dread. Taylor, the youngest of the siblings, felt a surge of fear and anger. He had known all along about Dimitri's true nature, but his warnings had fallen on deaf ears. Now, it was up to him to save his family. He knew he had to act fast. The siblings huddled together, their minds racing. They knew they had to do something. But what? They were just kids, up against a creature of the night. But they also knew they couldn't just stand by and watch their mother fall into Dimitri's trap. With a newfound determination, they decided to confront Dimitri. They knew it was a dangerous plan, but it was the only one they had. They had to save their mother, no matter what. The moon hung low in the sky, casting long, eerie shadows that danced on the deserted streets. The once vibrant town was now a ghostly stage set for a confrontation of epic proportions. The Hansen siblings, armed with nothing but their courage and determination, were about to face off against a creature of the night. Dimitri, the vampire, was oblivious to the impending danger. He was too engrossed in his date with Lynette, their mother. His hypnotic gaze was fixed on her, his charm working its magic. But unbeknownst to him, the siblings had a plan. Adam, Chelsea, and Taylor approached Dimitri cautiously, their hearts pounding in their chests. They knew they had to break the trance over their mother, but how? They had no weapons, no garlic, no holy water. All they had was their love for their mother and their unwavering resolve. Just as Dimitri was about to sink his fangs into Lynette, Adam stepped forward. "Stop," he shouted, his voice echoing through the silent night. Dimitri turned, his eyes glowing red in the darkness. A sinister smile spread across his face as he saw the children, but the siblings were undeterred. Chelsea joined Adam, standing tall and defiant. "You want her Mom," she declared, her voice steady despite her fear. Taylor, the youngest, stood behind them, his small fists clenched. And then, out of nowhere, Malachi Van Helsing appeared. The vampire hunter had been tracking Dimitri, waiting for the right moment to strike. And that moment had come. With a swift movement, he threw a vial of holy water at Dimitri, who hissed in pain as the liquid burned his skin. The distraction was enough for the siblings to break the trance over their mother. Lynette blinked, confusion clouding her eyes as she looked at her children. "Mom, we need to go," Adam said, pulling her away from Dimitri. The showdown was intense, the stakes high, but in the end, love triumphed over evil. The siblings had managed to save their mother from the vampire's thrall, proving that even in the face of unimaginable horror, the power of family and love could conquer all.
As the shadows retreat and our tales come to an end, we thank you for joining us in this dance with darkness. Your presence gives life to our stories and your anticipation fuels our fires. If you've enjoyed this journey through the abyss, remember to leave your mark with a like or comment. Subscribe and become a part of our haunted family as we continue to explore the corners of the unknown. Until our paths cross again, may the thrill of horror be with you.